Welcome to Dreamy Sleep Tales. Under a moonlit sky where every raindrop carries a secret, welcome to a journey beyond time, a realm where the ancient whispers of the forest awaken memories long forgotten. Tonight, as soft silver rain falls upon mystical stones and venerable oaks, let your spirit drift into the embrace of an age-old legend. Join us as we step into a world of Celtic magic and quiet enchantment, where every heartbeat echoes the pulse of nature and the promise of renewal sparkles in the shadows of the past. Get ready to surrender to the soothing lullaby of the rain, and let this timeless tale transport you to a place where dreams and history entwine in a dance of eternal wonder. The ancient forest whispered in the language of rain as droplets fell softly upon mossy stones and gnarled tree roots. In the heart of the woodland, beneath an endless sky heavy with the promise of mystery, there lived a druid named Owen, a guardian of nature's secrets and an interpreter of its ancient hymns. Every drop of rain carried a fragment of forgotten lore, each a note in a timeless ballad echoing through the ages. Owen walked silently along a winding, leaf-strewn path, his long cloak trailing behind him. He had spent many years in solitude, attuned to the gentle murmur of rain and the quiet symphony of the forest. Tonight, the rain was different, more deliberate, as though it sought to awaken hidden memories of the earth. As he approached a circle of standing stones, ancient and dignified, he sensed that something extraordinary was unfolding. The stones, weathered by time yet resilient, stood like sentinels guarding secrets of a bygone era. Each stone bore intricate carvings, a language of symbols that told stories of gods, heroes, and the eternal cycle of life and death. Owen ran his fingers over the cool surface of one of the stones, feeling the subtle pulse of ancient energy beneath his touch. The rain intensified, pattering rhythmically on the stone, as if inviting him to listen more closely to the song of the past. In the center of the circle, a small pool of water had formed, its surface reflecting the shimmering interplay of starlight and rain. Owen knelt by the pool, dipping his hand into the cool water. At that moment, the ripples seemed to carry visions, a fleeting glimpse of an age when the land was young, when the Celts danced beneath the moon in reverence to nature's boundless spirit. The images were fleeting yet profound, and Owen knew that this was a call, a summons to remember and honor the ancient covenant between humankind and the earth. A rustle in the undergrowth drew his attention. Emerging from the shadows was a figure draped in emerald green robes, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of centuries. She was Aina, a guardian spirit of the forest, whose presence was as elusive as the mist and as enduring as the ancient oaks. Her voice, soft and melodic, resonated with the cadence of the rain. "Owen," she whispered, "the time has come to awaken the forgotten tale. The rain bears memories of the old ways, and tonight the land is ready to share its secrets with those who have ears to listen." Owen rose slowly, his heart quickening with anticipation. Aine led him deeper into the forest, where the trees arched overhead to form a natural cathedral. The rain danced on the leaves, each droplet a shimmering prism that caught the light of the moon. Along their path, the forest floor blossomed with clusters of delicate wildflowers, their colors muted under the rain's soft glow. The air was filled with a blend of petrichor and the subtle aroma of damp earth, a fragrance that evoked both nostalgia and hope. They arrived at a clearing where an ancient oak stood, its broad, gnarled branches extending outward like open arms. Carved into the trunk was a single, intricate sigil, a mark of unity, strength, and eternal connection to the natural world. This, Aine explained, is the emblem of the first covenant, an oath taken by our ancestors to preserve the balance of all life. Tonight, as the rain renews the land, you must recite the words of the old song. In doing so, you will awaken the spirit of the forest and invite the blessings of our forebears. Taking a deep breath, Owen closed his eyes and began to speak in a language older than the wind. His voice, steady and resonant, carried the syllables of the ancient incantation across the clearing. The rain seemed to pause, hanging in the air like tiny crystal beads suspended in time. As his words wove together the fabric of forgotten lore, the oak's sigil began to glow softly, pulsing with a gentle luminescence that spread outward through its bark. The forest, too, responded in kind. The rain's rhythm grew more harmonious, a soothing counterpoint to the druid's chant. Somewhere deep within the woods, the rustling of leaves took on a musical quality, as if the trees themselves were joining in the sacred recital. In that moment, the boundary between the present and the past blurred, and the ancient voices of the land whispered their secrets into the cool night air. Owen continued, his chant now interspersed with moments of quiet reverence. With each phrase, the visions in the pool returned, clearer and more vivid. He saw a time when the land was ruled by elemental forces, a time of magic, when nature and spirit were intertwined in a dance as eternal as the cycle of the seasons. He witnessed heroes clad in armor of moonlight, battling dark forces that sought to disrupt the delicate balance of life. And above all, he felt the unwavering presence of a divine promise. The promise that as long as the rain fell and the earth turned, hope and renewal would always endure. As the final words of the chant slipped from his lips, a hush fell over the clearing. The rain, which had been a constant companion throughout his recitation, now transformed into a shimmering veil that concealed and revealed in equal measure. Aina stepped forward, her eyes glistening with unshed tears of gratitude. "You have awakened the memory of our people," she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of ancient wisdom. "The forest is alive with the echoes of our ancestors, and in this moment, you have reconnected us to the old ways." The clearing seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow as the rain continued its gentle descent. A sense of profound peace settled over the land, as if the very air was infused with the promise of renewal. Owen's heart swelled with a deep, abiding connection to the earth, a connection that transcended time and space, binding him to every living creature and every whisper of the wind. In the stillness that followed, the ancient oak began to speak, not in words, but in the rustling of its leaves and the creaking of its branches. The sound was like a lullaby, a quiet hymn that resonated with the soul. It told of ancient festivals held under the silver glow of the moon, of dances and feasts where the people celebrated the bounty of the land. It spoke of sorrow and loss, of battles fought in the name of freedom and honor, and of the healing that followed when hearts were united in hope. Owen listened intently, his eyes fixed on the glowing sigil as it continued its silent pulsation. The visions in the pool grew more enchanting, shifting seamlessly between scenes of jubilation and moments of quiet introspection. In one vision, he saw a grand procession of druids and bards, their voices raised in a chorus that reached the very heavens. In another, he saw the lonely figure of a wanderer, much like himself, seeking solace and understanding beneath the ever-watchful gaze of the ancient stones. The rain began to ease, its persistent patter giving way to a more measured, rhythmic cadence. In that transition, the forest exhaled, a collective, almost imperceptible sigh of relief. Aine turned to Owen, her gaze filled with both admiration and a quiet sorrow. "There is a power in remembering, Owen," she murmured. "For every droplet of rain carries with it the weight of history, the joys and the heartaches of those who came before us. But with each remembrance, we find the strength to face a new dawn." Moved by her words, Owen stepped closer to the pool and gazed into its reflective surface. The water, now clear and still, mirrored the tapestry of the night sky, a mosaic of stars that twinkled like scattered jewels. In its depths, he saw not only the past, but also the promise of the future, a future in which the old ways would be honored and the sacred bond between man and nature would be preserved. As the night deepened, the forest seemed to settle into a serene slumber. The once vibrant chorus of the rain and rustling leaves softened into a gentle murmur, like the lullaby of a benevolent guardian watching over its charge. Owen knew that his journey was far from over. The night had offered him a glimpse into a realm where time was fluid, where the present was inseparable from the echoes of ancient memory. Yet within that ephemeral space, there lay a profound sense of continuity, a reminder that every ending was but a prelude to a new beginning. In the days that followed, the villagers of a nearby hamlet began to speak in hushed tones of a mysterious light that shone in the forest at night. They recounted how the rain had turned to silver and how, The old stones seemed to hum with a quiet power. Some claimed to have seen a lone figure wandering the paths, his eyes alight with the glow of forgotten lore. Others spoke of a comforting presence in the form of a woman in green, who appeared at the edge of the woods to guide lost travelers back to safety. Though the villagers could not explain these wonders, they believed that the ancient spirits of the forest were at work, watchful guardians ensuring that the balance of nature and spirit remained unbroken. One misty morning, as the first rays of the sun crept over the horizon, Owen returned to the circle of stones. The rain had ceased, leaving behind a world transformed, a realm where every leaf, every stone, and every drop of dew sparkled with a renewed vitality. He knelt once more before the ancient oak, tracing his fingers over the faded sigil. The memory of the night's incantation lingered in his mind, a gentle reminder of the eternal dance between history and destiny. In the quiet of that sacred space, Owen felt a stirring within him, a call to continue the work of preserving the old ways. He gathered a few smooth stones and arranged them in a small, deliberate pattern on the forest floor, a symbol of his promise to keep the ancient covenant alive. Each stone he placed was imbued with the energy of the rain, a silent pledge that the legacy of his ancestors would endure through the cycles of time. The forest responded to his gesture. A light breeze swept through the clearing, rustling the leaves in a tender caress, as if offering its blessing. The memory of the druid's chant, the soft glow of the oak's sigil, and the presence of Aina, the guardian spirit, merged into a single harmonious refrain. It was a lullaby of nature, a timeless song that whispered of renewal and the unyielding bond between all living things. As the seasons turned and the rain returned time and again, the story of that enchanted night spread quietly through the land. Travelers and seekers of wisdom found their way to the ancient circle, each one drawn by a subtle, ineffable pull, a desire to reconnect with the natural rhythms of the earth and to rediscover the beauty of old magic. And while the world outside continued to change in ways both profound and unpredictable, the forest remained a sanctuary of timeless wonder, a haven where the past and the present coexisted in peaceful harmony. Late one evening, under a sky thick with clouds and soft, persistent rain, a young woman named Neve arrived at the edge of the woodland. Having grown up listening to the tales of her grandmother, stories filled with whispers of fairies, druids, and ancient pacts, she felt an unspoken yearning to witness the magic firsthand. With cautious steps, she entered the forest, the damp earth cool beneath her bare feet. Every droplet that kissed her skin was a gentle reminder of the old stories of a world where nature spoke in silent verses and every rustle of the wind was a secret message. Neve followed a faint, winding path lit only by the occasional flicker of fireflies. As she drew nearer to the circle of standing stones, the air grew thick with a palpable energy. She paused at the edge of the clearing, her breath catching in awe as she beheld the ancient oak and the shimmering pool at the center. The scene was imbued with a quiet majesty, a tableau of nature's resilience and grace that stirred something deep within her soul. She approached the stones with reverence, feeling the weight of countless generations who had stood in this very place, their hopes and dreams etched into the fabric of the earth. In that moment, the forest seemed to lean in closer, as if to welcome her with open arms. Neve knelt by the pool, gazing into its clear waters, and there, in the reflection of 1,000 stars, she glimpsed the legacy of the old covenant, a promise that the ancient spirit of the land would forever watch over those who honored its mysteries. The gentle patter of rain resumed its steady cadence, echoing the heartbeat of the forest. In the distance, Neve heard a soft melody, a lullaby that carried the wisdom of ages. Drawn by the sound, she followed it to a small glen where wildflowers bloomed in vibrant clusters, their colors muted yet enchanting in the silver light. Here, she encountered a figure cloaked in mystery, a man with eyes as deep and knowing as the midnight sky. His presence was both reassuring and enigmatic, and though words were few, his silent nod spoke of a shared understanding. He was one of the forest's keepers, entrusted with preserving the ancient lore and guiding those who sought its solace. In the days that followed, Neve returned often to the forest. Under the gentle tutelage of the keeper and the lingering spirit of Owen's legacy, she learned the language of the rain, the silent poetry of the stones, and the enduring power of ancient memory. Every visit deepened her connection to the land and nurtured a sense of wonder that transcended the mundane. Through her quiet reflections and heartfelt conversations with nature, she began to weave her own chapter into the timeless saga of the forest. A chapter that celebrated the beauty of resilience, the sanctity of tradition, and the promise of renewal. One particularly serene twilight, as the heavens wept softly and the forest bathed in a gentle glow, Neve sat beneath the ancient oak. With a small bundle of herbs gathered from the woodland's bounty, she prepared a modest offering, a token of gratitude for the gifts bestowed upon her. As she spoke softly to the spirits of the land, the rain seemed to respond in kind, its rhythmic patter a benediction that cradled her words in a cocoon of solace. In that tranquil communion, Neve felt an overwhelming sense of peace, a reassurance that the old ways were not lost, but merely slumbering, waiting for the moment to be awakened anew. Over time, the forest became a living tapestry of interconnected stories, each raindrop a verse in a grand epic, each stone a silent witness to the ebb and flow of life. The ancient covenant, rekindled through the voices of druids past and the quiet devotion of those like Neve, wove itself into the very fabric of the land. And in every whisper of the wind, every gentle rustle of leaves, and every shimmering reflection in the rain-kissed pool, there echoed the timeless promise of hope and renewal. A promise that, no matter how many seasons passed, the magic of the ancient ways would endure. In this enchanted realm, the rain was more than a natural phenomenon. It was a storyteller, a gentle muse that carried the voices of long-forgotten heroes and the wisdom of a people who had learned to live in harmony with the world. It sang of battles fought and loves lost, of sacrifices made in the name of honor, and of the quiet triumph of the human spirit in the face of nature's relentless, beautiful force. And as the rain continued its eternal descent, nurturing the land and soothing the weary hearts of those who listened, the forest stood as a timeless testament to the enduring power of memory, the unbreakable bond between man and nature, and the eternal dance of life, a dance choreographed by the mystical rain and performed under the watchful eyes of ancient guardians. Each night, as the rain began to fall once more, the legacy of the ancient covenant was renewed. The stones whispered their secrets. The oak glowed with quiet majesty, and the pool reflected a sky filled with starlight and hope. The forest, ever vigilant and serene, awaited the arrival of the next seeker, one who would listen to the soft murmur of the rain and in that quiet communion rediscover the timeless magic of the old ways. And so, beneath the ever-changing tapestry of rain and moonlight, the ancient forest continued its gentle vigil. Its story, carried on each raindrop and etched into every stone, was a lullaby for the soul, a melody that promised that no matter how far the winds of change might blow, the heart of the earth would forever beat with the rhythm of life, love, and the eternal promise of renewal. So, dear listeners, thank you for joining Dreamy Sleep Tales on this mystical journey through ancient Celtic lore. As the gentle rain fades into a soft whisper and the echoes of forgotten legends settle into the night, may your dreams be filled with wonder and peace. If you enjoyed this immersive escape, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on which story you want to see next. And don't forget to share the video with friends who might need a touch of magic too. Until our next tale under the starry sky, sleep well and dream deeply.